In a turnaround vote, Cory Booker has joined Bernie Sanders in supporting a bill that would allow the re-importation of cheaper prescription drugs from Canada. So this is good news. Now, on Tuesday, Cory Booker joined Bernie Sanders at a joint press conference to announce his support of this legislation. Now, I covered his bullshit reasons for not passing this the last time. Oh, the drugs. You don't understand. The drugs from Canada are not safe. Not safe. Oh, really? Why is that? Well, Canada has lower drug standards. Really? Do they? Can you show me anywhere in the Canadian law which actually makes drugs less regulated? Remember, Canada, big government, socialist Canada, at least compared to us, right? They have universal health care there. And they've got lower standards for drugs than we do? Come on, dude. I don't think anybody was buying that. In fact, nobody was. We know that he takes money from pharmaceutical companies. But look, even the money did not prepare Cory Booker for the massive backlash. And you know what? It worked. All the letters, all the calls, all the pressure put on Cory Booker, he won. Or we won. Political activism and engagement works. In the end, look, Cory Booker can take all the money he wants, right? But in the end, he still needs your votes. And that's it. See, and the reason that I say that is because the money doesn't actually buy you votes. What the money does is that it buys you ads. But if you're engaged and you're informed, and you can see, you can see past the ads, because that's all they are, glorified commercials. If you know what's actually going on, if you know what they stand for, if you know where they're getting their money, well, you can see past that, the flowery language. See, the ads are only effective on low information voters, people who don't get involved, people who are uninformed of the political process. And see, that's why Cory Booker is doing this. And that's why the progressive resistance against corporate Democrats is actually starting to work. And I know it's hard to believe, it's hard to see, but actually, when you get involved, when you engage, it works. It works. And you know why? It's because without your votes, all the money in the world doesn't do a goddamn thing. As Ryan Grimm of the Huffington Post puts it, Cory Booker's break with the industry at a public event with Sanders is meaningful politically. If the goal of the resistance has been to stiffen the spines of Democrats, well, it's working. And that's because of you guys, you at home. See, look, under President Obama, the left has slept for far too long. Now, not you, not the ones who are watching this video. You already know. You already know. But there are so many people, so many liberal Democrats, or not even Democrats, independents that have that are now woke up to the corruption of our politics, and they are now speaking out. And a lot of it's thanks to Bernie Sanders for waking people up. And now, the politicians, they're being forced to listen. This is democracy, and I love it. And look, Booker isn't the only one that's effective, right? As Ryan Grimm notes, the drug industry is powerful in Pennsylvania as well. And Senator Bob Casey joined Booker on that night, on that late night vote in January to block cheap prescription drugs. Remember, this was something that even Ted Cruz had voted in favor of. That's amazing. Now, since then, the resistance in Pennsylvania to Bob Casey has been fierce, with activists gathering every Tuesday to pressure lawmakers to oppose the Republican corporate agenda. Casey has not been immune, and he faces re-election in 2018 in a state that Donald Trump won with an upset victory. He, too, joined Booker and Sanders to back this bill. So Booker and Casey said, and this is fascinating, they were able to add robust safety provisions to the measure, which eventually won over their support. Likely story, but hey, whatever. I will take it. Way to finally be on the right side of the issue. Now, look, I don't know if this whole legislation is going to pass or not, but even if it doesn't, this is important symbolically. Now, politically, it's smart for Booker. It looks good for him. This guy is probably going to run for in 2020. Mark my words. But again, it looks good for him. It's good politically. It's also good legislation. So it makes sense to be on board. And this is symbolic as well to the power of the progressive movement in the Democratic Party. That energy needs to be sustained. Now, my fear on this is that if the Democrat gets back into office, the left will go back to sleep. That can't happen again. It can't. We have to hold all of our politicians accountable so that in the end, we can get real change. Do not go back to sleep. Continue the resistance. If a Democratic politician does something wrong, call them out. If a Republican politician does something wrong, you call them out. It doesn't matter what party they're a part of. You need to hold them accountable with the same amount of energy that you've shown against Donald Trump. The resistance just isn't against Republicans or Trump. What it is it's against neoliberal pro-corporate policies. And if you fight against those, all politicians notice. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.